difficulties, but dang it, we're back, we hope.
Yay! Hope you can hear us. If you can't hear us, please wave your hands, send smoke signals, or, yell at us on the chat so we can know and fix it.
But we're here and we love you.
Yay sound!
All right.
All right, let's test my sound now to make sure that I can be heard on the stream as well.
Okay, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
Thank you, Michelle. So, welcome back. In case you couldn't hear the terrible introduction I did before,
it was a glorious introduction.
real
but
life.
No one could hear you.
Yeah. So double terrible. If you know 3SR, tragedy happens. Things happen. All kinds. Yep. Every kind of complication that can happen happens. But it just so happens one member of 3SR, me, has been following Ravenloft for about 20 years. And much as I may love to make fun of the 5th edition because I'm an old grognard grump jerk like that, I did pick up the Van Richten guide. And yeah, so I decided we're going to throw a one-shot impromptu Ravenloft.
I tell you what, though, if people are really into this, you should definitely let us know that you are. Message us on the 3SR Facebook page and let us know that you would like to see more episodes of this.
Because I can do this. I've done this. I've been doing this for 2 decades. Ravenloft is my jam. I go old school. Not as old as some, though. I'm a 3rd edition holdout. God, they ran a good game. But in this particular case, we're just going to jump right in with the new setting, which, as a quick review, if any of you don't like the changes that they have made, everything is Aslan's fault. Just like last time, and the time before that, not the time before that. That time, it was Vecna's fault. So it's always a Lich's fault.
It was Aslan.
It's
pretty much, yeah. That's the meme. It was Aslan all along. And that's what gets us copyright infringed right there.
There you
go. All right, so
introduce our introduce, just say hi, just in case anyone's tuning in.
So yes, in case you're just tuning in, what am I telling you?
You're just introducing yourself. Everyone's introducing themselves.
So what doing. I'm Kevin. I'll be game mastering.
I'm Lindsay. I don't get to actually play too often. Actually, this is the first time I've actually been playing because I usually run.
Yeah.
I'm Lindsay. I play as Mavis on Geriatrich, so usually I'm running the D&D. But today I get to play as Juliana. I am one of the sisters of the Secret Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Erika. You see me on the other show that I'm on as Victoria. And today I will be playing Iliana, one of the Secret Sisters.
Woo-hoo.
So, are we ready to Ravenloft?
We're ready to loft the Raven.
Yeah.
As ever, if you want to follow along with the music that we enjoy, there's a Spotify playlist link available. Beyond that, enjoy. Ladies, if you're ready. Welcome to Ravenloft, the demi-plane of dread, the land of the mists. We're going to start in media res and have ourselves a nice little flashback to how you got here. Oh, yes, and for the sake of whatever, I am using, as this is impromptu, the rather excellent Dungeons third-party supplement.
Which is super fun. I've read part of it.
Yes, by Matt and Aaron Davids. So please give them a look. It's good stuff. Yeah, it will not be exactly as presented in the book, though, because role-playing. The ruins at the top of the gorge are the foundations of a tower. The tower has long since collapsed and filled the opening in the underground tunnels with debris. It would take several days of hard labor to remove that debris, but the upper bridge that you see over the Haslani Gorge is made of gray stone and quite solid. However, broad though it is for trading caravans, you assume, There are no handholds or any protection to the sides. Since you arrived in Haslan, you've found that a great deal of its architecture and its nature seems to be predicated around the idea of mages who didn't think things through. The sun is setting, a sickly golden haze in the distance, over the combination of savanna, desert, and other stranger biomes that you've seen here. From playas and plateaus to swamps and forests, Haslan is an unwelcoming place, filled with the toxic radiation of unthinking, unplanning, unfeeling wizards, and the second-class Rashomani, who are forced to serve as little better than slaves, when they're not just slaves. Staring down into the gorge, you can see that there is probably some pretty easy access going down. If you were human, you would have wanted to bring rope. But then, you two have gifts, don't you?
We sure do.
We sure do.
The sun, as I mentioned, is sinking below the horizon, and with it comes a certain sense of relief. You don't burn, but then, daylight just isn't what it was, is it? It's overrated at this point, and the shadows leading down, ominous though they are, do provide an odd sense of welcome. All you have to do is clean it out of its native population of hazards. 2 days previous.
2 days earlier.
2 days earlier. You sit in the offices outside of a vast mage's tower. Collected all around you are the scrolls and implements of government that make up the hard copy bureaucracy of a magocratic despotism society. The man before you is most likely some kind of officiary. He has the red robes and bare chest, clean-shaved head, wrapped pants and slippers of a Mulan mage, pale skin and tattoos. The Rashmani, on the other hand, have more dark and tanned skin from the sunlight and the work. It's easy to tell who's rich in Haslan. If they have magic, wear red, and have no hair, and are pale, they're rich. But this guy is the servant to Carol, a rather, shall we say, successful apprentice of Haslik, the leader of this land. A egomaniacal and absolutely mad mage who you definitely don't want to meet. But the man before you is the officiary of Carol, and he has an offer for 2 such itinerant adventurers. Tell me, what language do you want to speak to him in?
Well, what is the language of this land?
Yeah.
The people of Haslan are most comfortable with Vasi, but for the sake of dealing with travelers, they do speak Balak.
I would assume that we, well, if we're
Well,
travelers.
we are traveling adventurers, so let's speak in Balak.
All right. For the sake of argument, dear viewers, when I change languages, I change accents. All right. He begins with Vasen, which, if you do understand, do you speak the language of our people here? Or do you prefer Balak?
I believe we can speak in the language of your people.
We tend to be accommodating when we can be.
He gives you an appraising look as though he's impressed that you have that kind of linguistic ability. Tell me, when he takes you in, what does he see? Erika, could you describe your character?
Yeah. My character has black hair that's kind of like combed back, and then it's sort of like wavy, bushy down the sides. She has bright purple eyes. She's a human with pale skin and freckles. She's wearing almost like an 18th century or 19th century like cross from like a pirate and a noble's garb. So she has like an overcoat, right? And underneath that is like a vest with and then an undershirt that's a little bit poofy. The jacket sleeves are a bit short that lets the fancy undershirt kind of extend past to where the wrists are. She's wearing pants that are tucked into almost knee-high boots.
Wow.
Your fashion speaks of a well-traveled person. Elements of Borkin, Lemordian, Mordentish, and even a bit of Darkon. Somebody wouldn't dress like this unless they'd been to a few different places or were wealthy enough to acquire bits and pieces from these distant realms. And Lindsay.
So, my character is a little bit more secretive and cagey, as it will be. I have more like a scarf-like shirt with a leather piece of armor, like chest piece over that. I have a black, everything's either blacks or browns and sometimes crimsons. But it's a hood. It's basically on my face, but you can tell that I have elvish features. I have long, pointy ears. I have very, very pale skin. I also have freckles, but just on the nose and the cheeks. I have deep, deep red eyes. But one of the eyes is covered with a eye patch. So as to hide what might be under the eye patch, there is a scar that goes right across from the top of my eyebrow down. I'm wearing long boots and a gear belt, and I have a very serious look on my face.
Your attire suggests a more pragmatic approach, and certainly could be found in any number of realms. There's a great deal of Darkonese at work here, but perhaps just a touch of Kartakan, a little bit of Barovian, maybe even just one or two bits that might be Nova Vasan.
Okay, there you go.
Do you introduce yourselves?
Yes.
Yes.
My name is Iliana, and this is my sister, Juliana.
Your names are irrelevant. Unless, of course, you are successful. We find ourselves with a minor complication, one which is below the attentions of the great red wizards of Haslan. However, perhaps there will be some modicum of reward for agents who are capable of bringing forth success in this irrelevant matter. We find
Well,
that
let
there is...
us
to
mm,
interrupt.
let us prove ourselves to you.
He waves his hand and rolls his eyes as though everybody wants to impress him. Of course you do. He's a red wizard of Haslan.
My character turns and looks at the window and scoffs.
He doesn't notice. He's too busy with his own scoffing. We find we have an infestation along the gnawing path. A great number of Gramishkas. Each of them a small magical accident. You understand our experimentations are too important to worry about the side effects. That is for others to clean, others like you. and the great wealth of Haslan is available for such agents who wish to act as exterminators. Should you make your way across the gnawing path, you should find a certain gorge that will provide access. Here is a map. From here, in the glorious city of Slivar. From what you've seen of the glorious city of Slivar, it perhaps has less than 5,000 people, whitewashed walls, red-tiled roofs, and a general sense of, ugh. Go to these caves, bring back a wagon load of these Gramishkas, prove to us that the hazard has been taken care of. And if you succeed where other adventurers have failed, there shall be suitable rewards, remunerations, expenses, perhaps even a taste of the great magic of Haslan.
Very well. We will return.
Splendid. Perhaps now we will see some results. My master is losing faith in the likes of you. You are not the first to go on this errand. But perhaps that means you shall have more success.
We'll try to change his mind.
He turns to his papers, seemingly dismissing you by virtue of withdrawing his attention.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. I think he's as uninterested in us as we are with him.
Yep.
So we will make sure that we get a wagon to take with us to bring back proof of our deed and be on our way.
All right. So, moving through Slivar, there is an incredibly oppressive sense about the place. Your travels haven't exactly taken you to realms of good cheer, but everywhere there's a strange oppressive heat, as though the world is closing in about you by virtue of that overhanging sun, by that sense of vast wealth disparity, by the smoke and smog and stink that you can feel just hanging in every inch of this place. What's more, there's an odd tingle on some of the breezes, as though magic itself is carried along in the winds, magic that doesn't know what to do with itself, magic that is leaked off from other places, other effects. The journey to the gnawing path isn't one that I would describe as pleasant, certainly not bucolic. There are no charming little villages. There are no beautiful vistas. Well, there is beauty, of a savage, warped kind. The distant plateaus, the windswept valleys, the sickly forests, the mires which seem to bubble with scents which, quite frankly, you've never smelled outside of an alchemist's laboratory. Or perhaps the rotting remains of an old herbalist shop. Everywhere it is summer in a way you don't want to experience summer. In the far distance you can see strange things, things which you have not seen their like in your past. A great albino purple worm winds along one of the playas in the distance. A strange floating series of rocks just hovers by on the horizon, heading towards parts unknown, and some of those pieces of rock look like they may once have been part of a structure. Are they linked together at this distance? Who can say? But it's not a terribly long journey, and for all the fantastic elements of what you see and the evidence of the vast magical power here, you do finally arrive at the bridge. So, leaving your wagon up there, how will you proceed downward?
Oh my.
What's more, do you know what Gramishkas are?
Would we be familiar with Gramishkas on our journeys that we've had previous?
It's possible, and you might have just heard of them in research. I don't suppose anybody has knowledge arcana?
I do. I have knowledge arcana.
Ooh.
I have a +3.
Yes. Gramishkas are a kind of magical accident that happens from time to time. When magic goes awry, sometimes it can spawn a swarm of hairless, ugly, cat-like creatures that like to eat magic.
So they're not like the cute hairless cats that you see. Usually these guys are on the ugly side.
You know how a goblin is like an ugly child?
So the Gramishkas are the goblin
Yeah.
version of these hairless cats.
But they eat magic.
Oh, okay.
Goblin cats.
Goblin cats.
Nasty things.
As a caster yourself, Iliana, you may find that that's a rather daunting prospect.
Yes. I do not like these Gramishka.
Well, then you have something in common with the Red Wizards of Haslin.
Very little in common, afraid.
But that much at least. So, how will you proceed down into the gorge, leading into the caves of the gnawing path?
The easiest way is to climb down.
Yeah.
Your new granted gifts make this a very simple matter. Your hands seem to adhere to stone, your feet seem to find purchase wherever they need to, and like spiders, one might say, you climb your way down.
Shoes.
Now then, going down, you can see that there's evidence of some previous structures here. There's a lower bridge, less stable than upper, but you're guessing still safe to cross. Pebbles fall down, you can hear them echoing far below. And you can see, let's have a perception check.
I have a +0.
Let's
I am not very
I have a
noticing.
perceptive. I have a 4.
With these rolls, you didn't need anything, either of you.
Oh shit.
Hot dog. Yeah, that is very solid.
We perceived.
What's more, you have the benefit of dark vision.
Mhm.
There are increasing degrees of webs present.
Ooh.
Big,
Okay.
thick strands of web. The kind that you don't normally see with regular spiders. The kind that come out of bigger spiders. And wrapped up and hanging from some of the overhangs and ceilings about you, you can see relatively shrunken cat-sized packages.
Oh.
It seems we're not the only people who can climb and hunt these Gramishkan.
I think we need to keep a keen eye on certain 8-legged friends.
Yes. I think that would be wise.
Would that you were drow. Alas.
Here's we're not the only bloodsuckers down here.
We are not.
So, your continued descent, you can see that the bridge that you have reached, there's definitely, like, over the edge, it goes deeper and deeper still. But you could proceed to either side of the bridge. There's a long set of stairs. Again, no railings. So, facing from the path you came by, you could proceed down those steps into the hallway proceeding from there, or you could go back, and at the top of the stairs, the chamber proceeds in the opposite direction. What do you reckon?
What do I know?
Well, perhaps we should clear the upper level before proceeding downwards.
I agree that maybe we should probably work our way down. So starting from the top and working our way down, taking away any dangers along the way.
Yes, I like that idea.
Agreed.
You proceed back into the halls, which grow increasingly dark, draining away the color of your sight. The stonework here appears to be from, well, it doesn't seem that ancient, but it clearly has gone through quite a bit. The architecture is slightly different. Where you have noticed a great deal of the building up top appeared to be of a magical nature, the kind of situation where the stone is unnaturally smooth. It's been assembled in fashions that suggest that nobody was ever like constructing it by hand, but it was simply levitated and adhered into place. Down here, you can see the trace evidence that this is a place where people actually worked. Hammers, tools, rope, suspension, hard labor went into these steps and these hallways. Curious. Proceeding further back, you can see that there are stairs which wind upward in a spiral. And again, upward a little further still. And the webs begin to grow thicker the deeper you go.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Until they're getting much thicker.
How, if I may, sorry, I guess I should say like in character and out of character. Apologize, audience. Like I'm still a baby at playing, so like you'll have
Don't
to
worry
excuse
about
me. But how is our vision right now? As far as like, are we only able to see the webs, if any?
You can see it's just all sense of color has been drained, and to normalize, it would be pitch black.
Yeah.
For you, it is
a whole bunch of gray webs.
Very, very dim.
Okay.
You're navigating a dark room, but not a blacked out room.
Could I, if I may, interrupt and ask if it's possible for me to do any sort of like insight to see what we're walking into?
Insight is for discovering somebody's motivations.
Okay,
it's
but we
empathy.
can't. Okay, but so what about perception? Is there any way I can do another perception check to see what's ahead?
You could use perception, investigation, if you've got any kind of wilderness lore of any sort. That would probably be useful here.
I do not have wilderness lore. All I have is perception, just to check.
I have investigation.
You have investigation? Ooh.
I do, at +3.
All right. Investigation does not turn up anything at this time. However, perception, which will give you the broadest sense of things, the webs are growing thicker, but there are almost tunnels through them, which definitely appear to be part of the architecture of the webs.
Interesting.
Which suggests that if the occupant of these webs is still around, it's big.
Okay.
You also notice an increasing number of little mummified bundles in the webs.
So obviously the goblinite cats have been it.
I believe we are approaching the lair of the spider.
I'd recommend us to look around and make sure we're completely aware, because I agree that we are about to head into a rather large arachnid.
I'd like to cast a spell at this point.
All right.
Armor of Agathis.
What level spell is that?
1. First level spell.
All right. You feel that weird tingle that you felt on the wind before, as though it's trying to scramble your spell, but you manage to maintain your concentration, and it's fine. You're fine. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Your armor is active. All right. I trust you to tell me how long it lasts.
It lasts up to 1 hour or until the 5 temporary hit points have been used up.
That spell's broken.
It's just 5 temporary hit points that last up to an hour.
Yeah, but doesn't it like smack things that hit you?
If something attacks me and hits me in melee, it'll take 5 damage.
That's not so bad.
Yeah,
That's
but like
gone.
as soon as I lose the temporary hit points, that effect goes away too. So like it can go away in just like one hit, right? So like,
Oofda.
Gotcha.
so I mean, maybe I get 5 damage from it, or 10 damage, or if it's a ranged attack that removes it, then no damage, right? So
Okay.
All right. If you're going to proceed forward, you're going to have to start getting in the webs. So you could, if you want to remove them from your path so as not to get stuck up in them.
Should I use my long sword? I feel like, unless, Erika, do you have anything to remove things? Otherwise, I was going to just use my long sword to try to be safe. Just
I have a dagger.
You have a dagger. Okay.
Your packs almost certainly have torches and webs burn.
Burn. That's right. Okay. Well, let's both use our torches then to burn our way through. What do you think?
Yep. Okay. That works. I'll use prestidigitation to light our torches, and that's easy for me to say.
Okay. An easy flick.
Not for me.
Your torches are on. The thickness of the web casts alarming shadows going deeper in. Such is the tensile strength and width of these things. Some of them are almost more like ropes. But you plunge your torches into the webs, which very quickly catch fire. Deeper in, you can hear it chittering.
We've lost any element of surprise, but it was going to be slow going if we didn't do this.
Yes.
It's true.
It's going to agitate it, but I don't think there's any other way for us to get through.
Yeah. Okay. Be ready. We're about to fight some large spider.
Stay frosty, sister.
You ready?
Always am.
Proceeding deeper in, the chittering grows louder before becoming very silent.
Oof. It appears, Iliana, have you noticed that there's not any sound? And it's stopped quite shortly?
I suspect it is waiting in ambush.
I believe it's ready to pounce.
Your voices echo back, but not forward deeper into the webs.
Shall we proceed forward?
Yes, though I will take this moment to mention that our objective was not to kill the spiders, but just the Gramishkan. So I'm sure they will appreciate the spider being killed as well.
So we should prepare ourselves to have to kill this beastly creature.
Yes.
All right. So should we?
I won't lose sleep over it.
No, I hate spiders. I don't really in real life, but I hate spiders. I can't stand them. Nasty creatures. All right, so shall we go in with guns blazing, or shall we just quietly, gently try?
I don't think we'll be able to talk to the spider in this instance, so I think your plan is the only reasonable one.
All right.
No druids, no dark elves. So, spiders be spiders.
Spiders be spiders.
Yeah.
I start to grab the hilt of my long sword.
All right. I took the liberty of writing down initiatives. And neither of you see this coming.
Oh!
I suspected.
Oh, gung-ho. Let's go.
A great arachnid horror emerges from out of nowhere, slapping into the side of, let's see, evens or odds? Odds. Sorry.
Great!
Hmm.
Hope you have that bag of potions.
We will be fine.
Okay, the spider is coming at you. Let's see. All right, so it has, for its attack, your armor class is irrelevant with that roll.
Oh,
So,
great.
Oh, good.
So excited.
sorry.
Shit!
All right. It slams hard into you, its legs wrapping around you for a moment as it presses its fangs directly through your armor and into your flesh.
Can I fight back or am I paralyzed by this sucker?
We'll find out. I mean, it's not Shelob, but we'll find out. Okay. So you take 6 hit points
Ugh,
of damage. That is indeed an
wow.
that hurts in my loins.
Ouch.
Oh no.
and I'm gonna need a Constitution save, which you have no bonuses for. So
Oh fuck me.
may the
already.
dice be merciful.
Think, isn't she a +1?
Huh?
Isn't she a +1?
Oh, she is a +1. That's okay. That's okay. It's a good roll.
Okay.
Okay, so you only take.
I only take.
Yes,
What?
there's also poison damage now.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh boy, are you lucky. Okay, you take 1 point of poison damage.
So what? Okay, great. That's beautiful. Okay, so I'm just gonna add that. I'm just gonna make a note.
So, huzzah!
Great. Mommy.
All right, and that's yes. You may now react.
I can react.
Yes.
Okay. So can I like do kind of like I do with the kids? They've bitten me. I bite back.
Yes. Do it.
Back.
What's your bonus on that?
Oh, let's see.
I believe we wrote it down.
We did. Yeah, Vampiric Bite. Drink anything living. He's living. +3 to hit 1d4 +1 damage.
Oh, that's a hit. A palpable hit. 1d4 plus. Woo. Okay. Yeah. You plant your fangs directly into it with a massive just snarl that echoes. It's terrifying to anyone who isn't you two. It is savage. Regain 5 hit points.
Hell.
Its blood could best be described as Icarus. It is clumpy.
I hate spiders.
Gross.
They taste even worse.
It is nourishing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not sure you ever want to eat crab again.
Oof.
Yuck.
Nobody acknowledges that spiders are just land crabs.
They are land crabs. I mean, there is such thing as a spider crab. Those things are scary as hell. I mean, I love them. I think they're cute, but so. All right, so I'm back. Cool. Now what?
And now it is Ilana's turn.
I will gather a big goop of bluish energy and swing the Eldritch Blast into the spider, or attempt to at least. +5 on the attack roll.
Oh, yeah.
And it is 1d10, of course, for Eldritch Blast.
Yes, because a cantrip that does a great sword's amount of damage makes sense.
Okay. It's baked into the class.
Oh, I know.
It's the core feature.
I know. I was there.
Yeah.
Do not speak to me of the deep magic. I was there when it was written. All right. So Yeah, you couldn't conceivably have rolled better.
Woot woot.
Unless you can crit with this.
You can if you roll a nat 20.
You were this close. You were one off. But you still rolled a 10. Your described glob of blue energy slams outward with a just unearthly howl of eldritch energy, punching into and through the spider.
Nice.
Sending particles of its chitin flying to the other side into web to hang there suspended and spinning as the spider gives one last horrible gasp, rolls onto its back, carrying you with it, and goes from this to this. Do you know what that is? It's a dead one of those.
Oh my god.
Oh, we just watched Grabbers. Sorry, we watched Grabbers. It's an amazing Irish
Check that
horror
one out.
film.
It's funny.
Anyways.
So,
there might be more. Don't let your guard down yet.
Oh, no, I've not let my guard down. I've had a bite now. So now I've got a taste for it.
Better you than me.
Well, necessary evils. Necessary taste.
I will remind you that the two of you have brought 6 potions of healing along.
Okay.
Oh, well, I still have I have 1 point. Do I still have that 1 point of poison left?
It was just damage.
It was just damage.
Yeah, it's not going to progressively hurt you more.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're 2 points down, so probably best to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made your save.
I get back.
You sure did. You done drank spider.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who's eating horse tonight? That's right. It's the whale.
I've not only drank the spider, I've drank whatever it has drunk. Got a nice little cocktail.
Proceed deeper to find out.
Yeah. There could be the... Oh, go ahead.
Disentangling yourself from the arachnine limbs, you notice that it only has 5? This thing was hurt when you showed up.
Oh, no.
I suspect the previous adventurers might have faced this thing.
At least they got somewhat of a success, right?
1 limb. I think they got the worst end of the deal.
Yes. Considering all the little pretty packages I've seen along the way. Shall we?
Yes.
Continuing deeper. Stairs lead upward. Again, there are more and more webs, but you burn through these easily. There is no chitter this time. However, there are 2 alarming finds. One, at the end of a hallway at the top, you find that there are stairs leading upward to a rubble-collapsed passage. You're guessing if you continued up this way, it would lead to the surface, to the small tumble-down tower ruins that you had spotted before. On the other hand, if you go the other way, there is a small view that looks out into the ravine that you passed through before, the gorge. At the end of this, the window has almost been completely roped over with webs.
Ooh, okay.
Entangled within it, you can see a completely webbed up and drained out dark elf?
Ooh. Okay.
Her eyes are gone, her skin has been just sallowed, but you can still make out the dark and grayish tones of flesh that once were. The ears, though completely shriveled away, still have evidence of being longer. The leather armor is in utter tatters, but there are a pair of curved short swords. The second alarming thing that you see is her stomach, into which is a cluster of what you can only describe as probably eggs.
Oh no. Are we talking these are like the spider eggs? Yes. Oh my.
We should crush those and take those short swords.
Do you think that it might be possible, or I'll wager safe that maybe we should set ablaze these eggs? Or,
Yes.
okay, I mean, all respect for this poor soul here, but I feel like it's best if we set this thing on fire.
I agree.
Okay, all right. So I'll proceed to lay my torch at the whatever fabric is left of this poor soul's body and light it on fire.
Do you want to try to take the stuff first?
We took the stuff.
Mhm.
We took the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to need your sleight of hand on that.
Oh,
You got this.
I know. I'm a little. I thought she dayed. Okay. Sleight of
Stacks. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll do. Okay. As you lift the small pouch at the belt and a couple of vials and take the swords, there's the tiniest shift, and you see the eggs shift slightly.
Oh.
You manage to pull everything away without provoking the nest. Then I assume you plunge the torch into it.
Yes, we're gonna light it on fire. Mm-hmm.
There's a horrible cracking, popping, and screeching that comes from it, but nothing that you note that would skitter away. At least nothing you see. You have gained 2 more healing potions.
Hey.
Okay.
A
Great.
pair of short swords.
Great.
With scabbards, we'll say.
Okay.
And, let's see, 28 gold pieces.
Erika, do you want to take those short swords? I have an arraignment of sorts. So if you want to take them for yourself, you should have.
I will hold on to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right. So you're pretty sure you've cleared out this portion. So back the way you came?
Well, hold on. Because we're not entirely sure if we burned everything. Is it possible for me to do a perception check in this room?
It's always possible to do a perception check, unless you're unconscious.
Okay.
All right. You're pretty sure there's a number of... Do you want to investigate these little bundles?
Erika, do we want to investigate the little bundles?
I suspect these are the Gramishkan.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Okay.
We could verify one.
Just to make sure?
Yes.
Okay. We choose to investigate one of the little bundles.
Pulling one down, it appears to be an oversized rat.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Would you like
So
to
there
investigate others?
I feel like because we assumed that they were the Gramishka, that maybe we should check one more just to make sure, or what do you think?
Sure. It won't take long.
No.
It's not surprising to see rats here, though.
No, it isn't surprising. It is a deep, dark place.
You slice open the bundle, and inside you see the withered remains of, appears to be a Gramishka.
Oh, hey.
So, you got a mix.
I think we've satisfied what we believe to be what's left in this room. Shall we proceed? Leaving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Down the stairs and down the winding stairs and along the path and back out, looking up from the gorge, you can see that stars, unlike your homeland, hover above. They say it's that way in every realm. that every domain has its own sky. Some say it's always been that way. Others say this is new. That once you could pass between the two realms as long as the borders weren't closed, and it would be as simple as walking a road. The change between two might be imperceptible. Now, the mists have broken everything apart. You're back on the bridge with the long stairs. You could proceed down the stairs and go to the hallway opposite, or you could go over the side of the bridge and proceed further down the gorge.
Let's clear out the bridge, I think, before climbing down.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Proceeding along, you can see that the work here is much like the bridge and the area you just passed through, evidence that it was built in a more traditional fashion with less magic. Down some stairs into a long hallway carved with a number of runes that are unfamiliar to you. And then up some more stairs and into a hallway that proceeds forward into what appears to be a large chamber, but there are also stairs leading up and stairs leading down before you get there. So you can go up, down, or forward.
Shoot. Well, we started going from the top, so let's continue with top first.
Continue the plan. Go up first. Yeah.
Up the stairs, the hallway goes back a little bit before dead-ending with a broken-down table, chairs, and some tapestries so rotted and soiled that you wouldn't want to use them for anything, even kindling.
Okay.
But, proceeding that way once again, you come to a ledge and a balcony. It appears to be the chamber you would have approached otherwise. A very large ritual chamber. At the top, you can see a number of runes. At the very ceiling, you can see what appears to be an extremely chipped away and decayed mural. It seems to depict a portal, its borders of which look almost as though they were composed of a person, as though someone had been somehow flesh crafted into a great circle, their face emerging from one side with an agonized look, their hands, limbs, everything turned into a great circular form from which in the center you see a swirl, and on the other side, a strange castle under a blue sky. Looking down, you can see that lining the room, along with a number of these runes, are many of these runes have the depiction somewhat like an eye, a stylized shape of eyes looking in many directions. Down at the bottom, you can see a massive ritual circle, and I mean truly massive. The ancient remains of old candles create pools of wax that have formed structures all their own. Whatever magic here appears to be dead, but then again, you'd have to cast Detect Magic to know for sure. Then again, would you want to fuck with said magic?
No.
Well, should we instead, would it be worth our while to investigate the runes themselves?
Yeah, we could look at them with an Arcana test.
Okay.
I do not have the capability to cast Detect Magic at the moment, though.
Remember when that was a cantrip?
Right?
Why, 5e? Why? Anyway. So what's your bonus on Arcana?
3.
That's a good roll. The runes suggest a combination of effects were at work here for the ritual. The circle at the bottom suggests that it's from the conjuration school, or perhaps something that would open a portal. The eye glyphs are a bit more obvious. They seem to be divination, but from what knowledge you have of these things, it does seem to have a transdimensional get. If this was meant to look or travel to another place, it would have been a place that was more than location. It would have been another world entirely. You have heard the rumors and the legends that there are worlds beyond the realms, beyond the domains, places beyond the mist. Of course, you've never seen them for yourself.
Who has?
No one.
There are the
No one.
occasional madmen who pass through, claiming to be from domains you've never heard of. What is Oerth? What is Toril? What is Aethys? These mean nothing to you, unless there are more places in the mists that you haven't explored. You've heard, for example, of distant Harakir. You've even met Harakiri people, but that doesn't mean you've ever been there. You've heard of Suranya. You've even seen a zombie in the tradition of Soranyan magic. Doesn't mean you've ever been to its haunted bayous. So who can say?
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's anything for us to do with this at the moment. It appears to be some sort of viewing or even teleportation magic at work here, potentially traveling very great distances, but that's speculation on my part, beyond my understanding.
I feel like you're very wise, sister, but I do also feel like we should put our blinders on and just concentrate at the task at hand. We are not meant
You're
to be
right.
here to investigate magic. We are here to get rid of vermin.
That's right. Shall we continue then?
Yes, we shall continue.
Well, that's the ritual chamber explored as well. Down the stairs you go, and you can see a great well. And I truly mean great. It's got to be a fifth the length of the bridge above. A great big cistern. It's completely run dry. There's dust at the bottom from what you can see at this distance. But, yeah, from this angle, it looks like a dead end. Unless you want to proceed downward and investigate it more thoroughly.
We could climb a little bit down.
Sure.
Just to make sure.
We don't know where these things tend to hide, so shall we go down?
Yeah. I suppose it's not pleasant, but we will be thorough.
We were hired to do this dirty work.
Climbing down, you note that the paint that is all along this is a very dark brown and flakes away at the tiniest touch, and the smell of it is one that is very familiar to you. Blood. Old blood.
Oh my.
Oh. Well, this is a well. A very interesting well. It might have something to do with that ritual upstairs.
I believe so. This might have been filled with what would have been our dream come true a while back.
It very well may have been.
Perhaps some kind of cistern or fuel tank for whatever would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying. Proceed back to the bridge?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Making your way downtown, making your way down the gorge. My brain operated in memes years before memes. Making your way down the gorge, you can see that the entire underside of the supported bridge is totally webbed over. Vast quantities of bundles of Gramishka are webbed up here, as well as a heavier bundle. Hanging from a single thick strand and dangling slightly, you can see tatters of red robes silk
Ooh.
slippers, and white pants on the desiccated body. You also note that there are several intriguing-looking instruments hanging from their belt.
I would very much like to inspect
Yeah.
those instruments.
Do you have a means of reaching said corpse, which is dangling at least 20 feet away?
Okay. I have a question.
Da.
It's quite a silly one, but do we have rope in our pack?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for me to attach the rope to one of my arrows, shoot it, and then pull it down?
We're going the thief way. You can try.
What do you think, Erika?
That sounds like a better idea than me blasting it with an Eldritch Blast.
Down.
I mean, whichever one you think is going to be more profitable.
I think putting an arrow into the body and trying to pull it down sounds like a better idea.
Okay.
All right. That's a dang good shot.
Dun-dun-dun.
All right. Bracing yourself against the rocks, angling yourself a weird way, you still manage to pull a trick shot that would impress anybody. The arrow sinks into the corpse. You twist the rope it's attached to make sure that it grinds inside to get a hold, and you pull it over. It swings like a pendulum toward you, allowing Iliana to get her hands onto it while you hold it in place. This body does not have eggs.
Yay!
It is drained as hell, though. You can see a brace of 3 wands at the body's belt. This appears to have been a woman.
Oh my.
Looking at them, each of the wands appears to do the same thing. And they are all completely drained.
All of the wands are completely drained? Of the magic, okay.
But you do recognize the enchantment with a successful Arcana roll. Yup. These are wands of Summon Spider.
Oh.
This makes sense. They were trying to bring in another creature to hunt the Gramishkan, and it seems to have backfired, perhaps a bit.
Well, it does beg a question. Why would these spiders still be here? Because conjuration magic should just summon them for a little while and then they go away.
Oh, that's a good question.
I wonder if I may, sister, I wonder if this summoning of a spider was summoning another spider to fight the one that was already here.
Maybe. Another idea is there's something about this place that has some lingering magic that makes
Hold it in place?
to hold it in place. I mean, that portal would probably have been held in place for quite some time to be used. The wizards here seem very unstable sometimes with their magic. Perhaps this was a very powerful effect, and it is affecting this whole area, even still to this day.
So it's created a vacuum of sorts.
Maybe.
My.
Or we may find out the answer as we continue to investigate.
As you're looking at these wands and pawing over the rest of the body, there's a spell component pouch. A couple of the bits are probably still salvageable, but not worth much.
Okay.
But you do note that one of the arms clutched up against the chest, you note that there is a wand clutched in those fingers as well.
Huh. Well, I will very gently try to remove that wand.
All right. Pull that free. And as you do, a You see that there was a pouch tucked under their arm as well. It was concealed by the web. It tumbles its contents forth. Would you like to make a check to try to grab it?
Yes.
Yes, I would like to attempt that, yes.
What is your dexterity save?
My dexterity save is 2.
Hey!
Woo.
Holding the wand and reaching out with the other hand and almost falling and then tumbling back against the wall. In one hand, you have a wand of magic missile.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
In the other hand, you have an egg. It's about the size of a crystal ball. Let's see. Get that knowledge arcana. Good. You are this is a big ass spider egg.
Spider egg?
Yes. But it appears to be fossilized.
So it's not alive.
No.
Okay.
You recognize that this would actually be a rather powerful ingredient for a spell. Probably fetch you about 100 gold pieces from a wizard, alchemist, potion shop owner.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is a valuable item.
Good catch, sister.
Thank you. It was close there for a moment.
Well, the remainder of the bag that tumbled out appeared to be, little bits of bric-a-brac and the shells of other fossilized eggs.
Ah.
All right. Continue down. At the very bottom of the gorge is a sluggish, uninviting river. Sitting at, let's see, the tunnel and chambers beneath the tower must have been ransacked centuries ago. There's broken, rotting furniture and a couple more humanoid corpses, these ones with rusted blades, leather armor, nothing really worth the salvage. But you also see that there are innumerable piles of dead spiders and far more dead Gramishkas. I mean, mounds of them.
Gracious.
Looks like there was a fierce battle between spiders and Gramishkan.
I think that's possibly the right answer.
You can see that there is one opening in a cave over that sluggish river passing through. You could proceed forward. From inside, you can hear a muttering.
Is it
Muttering.
human or is it species?
It sounds like they're speaking Warlock?
Oh. Okay.
Okay. We.
Should we?
All right. I guess I'll speak up in Balok then.
Yes. Yes.
Hello. Who's there? Show yourself.
It simply keeps speaking in poems.
Sister, so
I
we
will.
should proceed cautiously towards the muttering?
Yes.
Okay.
This is curious.
Coming closer, the echoes get louder in their own vague way, though it is mutters. Son, said my mother when I was knee-high, you have need of clothes to cover you, and not a rag have I. And so you turn a corner and see a goblin with a Y, Goblyn. They're bigger than normal goblins, big green ears and red eyes, slightly larger than a person. This one seems impossibly ancient. There isn't an inch of its hide that isn't wrinkled. Its normally green skin is faded to almost just off-white. Its eyes are covered in the film of cataracts. He rode through the woods on a great ox. His fists were as hard as chopping blocks.
Hello?
We demand that you tell us who you are.
You have something for me.
What is it that exactly that you're looking for?
Turns to himself and mutters again. Do you know where fairies live? To see just one I'd gladly give. The moon and stars and galaxies that sail above the summer breeze.
Okay, so side question. Is it possible to use any sort of persuasion or even deception to tell him that we have something, to try to find out more about what he's doing?
The insight would give you insight into him.
Let's do that. Yes, sorry. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's your bonus?
2.
Okay. Well, he does seem to be speaking in poems and rhymes.
Oh boy, we already know that.
That seems to be the language that he covets.
Oh. There's not any way that is there any sort of skill that we can use to kind of I don't know how to better put this, but speak his language, like
We slip beneath the pillow's spell and drift from heaven and into hell, to lose control of conscious mind, the secrets of our soul to find.
Trying to like come up with like a rhyme to say to him.
I
But
know.
like instead of me just like thinking for like a few minutes, can we just can I make a
Google
persuasion
check? Yeah.
roll
You can make
for
a
this?
Google check, but rhyme at me.
I got one, I think.
Okay, go for it.
Into this cave we do wander. Seek this gift that we do ponder. What is it that you, the thing that you are looking for? We request your rapport.
He gives you an almost toothless smile and produces a single gold coin, and says, "Thank you," and then goes back to muttering. Troll sat alone on his seat of stone and munched and mumbled a bare old bone. For many a year he had gnawed it near, for meat was hard to come by.
Shall we try again?
Looking at the coin, you can see that you've never seen a coin like this before. You've never seen the language before.
Should we do investigation on the coin itself?
Sure.
You
I don't
do
know.
that coins like this are worth quite a bit to some collectors and arcane philosophers. You could easily get 250 gold for it.
Gracious.
Okay. Yeah. Well, some fool will pay quite a lot for this, I'm certain.
Yes, sister, do pocket that. It seems like we've ran into a bit of a conundrum where we're going to have to speak in rhymes to this being to get to where we need to go, or to find out why he's here.
Is he blocking a path or anything like that? Or is he just like standing there?
He's sitting next to a path, but he's not blocking it.
Should we ask if we can pass?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a rhyme for pass.
For what it's worth, any further discussion with him is completely ignored. I'll save you some time.
Okay, so
Okay.
We just stealth
All
our
right.
way past, because if he's completely ignoring us and like,
we'll just walk past them at this point.
Past, yes, okay.
He leaves you be.
Oh, well, that's nice.
We solved his riddle by you rhyming to him.
Proceeding deeper in, you can see that there's a large black tree grows out of bits of soil and stone. Its leaves glow faintly with a sickly, ghostly light. Does anybody have a nature roll they can make?
I don't have nature. What about you, Erika?
I have a +1.
Better than nothing.
You recognize the tree. You can't quite remember its name, but you know that its leaves can be used to make poison and are worth 15 gold each.
Okay, I will pick up some leaves, I guess.
How many is some?
Well, I mean, the gritty person in me is like, well, as many as I can. But, like, also, like, let's just say 10 until I feel like that's enough to pick up.
The magic number. At 10 leaves, the tree gives out a great puff of pollen, which you are guessing is poisonous if you breathe it.
Oh, no.
But then again, do you two have to breathe?
Oh,
No,
nope.
we
No, we
don't.
don't. We don't have to breathe. No. Mm-mm.
So, yeah, upon the pollen being expelled, that is, I don't know that we would breathe much anyhow. Like, to be honest, like once you stop needing to breathe,
You
you
don't need to
just
breathe.
stop.
So,
And it probably doesn't take that long to get used to.
mhm.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, you can gather. The rest of the leaves appear to be withering very quickly, but you managed to gather 5 more. So you have 15 leaves worth 15 gold apiece, unless you want to try to brew them into a poison yourself.
Well, we will see about that.
Mm.
And which gives me an idea.
You do note that there are a number of dead Gramishka along here. These ones appear to have been drained but not webbed up.
Interesting.
Is there a way for us to investigate one of the bodies to see if they are of the vampiric bite nature or if they are spider bite?
Does anybody, you have nature, right?
I have medicine.
That'll do.
I have
Oh, good
2.
roll. Good roll. These are definitely like big spider teeth.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Weird that they didn't get webbed up, these ones.
Maybe the spiders were busy.
Possibly.
Right, like you didn't get webbed up.
It's true.
So,
Maybe these were more for attack than tactic.
yeah.
Okay.
So proceed further along.
Yes.
May as well go forward.
You follow the trail, and here you find a very great pool, which is almost filled to the brim with Gramishka. Most of them are dead. Many of them are twitching, apparently paralyzed. A single great arachnid climbs around a corner from an alcove above.
Oh, hell.
This one looks different from the others. It is striped in strange dark blue glittering patterns. It has long, horrible limbs. 8 eyes blink at you out of sequence. Do spiders blink?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Sister,
I've
I feel
never
like this one's
looked
a little
into one's eyes long enough.
I feel like this might be a different sort of spider.
Yes. This is interesting.
Okay. Iliana, you may go first.
Hmm. This does seem like a different kind of spider, but I'm going to try to speak to it on the weird off chance, even though metagaming wise, I know you just rolled initiative, but in the chance that we're able to talk to this spider,
Yep.
I'll say, Spider, is this your lair?
It raises 2 of its front limbs and waves them at you and makes a sound.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, what was that? It rises up and like
Hissed.
hissed. Okay, well, I don't speak spider, so I guess that's the end of that conversation.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
I'll still give you an action.
Okay, that seems kind of hostile. I'm going to take it as a hostile action, even if it wasn't, because it's a spider. So I am going to grab another big ball of blue goop and throw the elemental blast towards the spider. +5.
Oh, that'll hit.
Nicely done.
All right. A D10. Oh, geez. This D10 really likes you because it's coming up 10s.
I like it.
Slams into it. However, it seems like some of the energy of it absorbs into those blue glittering streaks.
Oh dear.
Seems like it might be resistant to magic.
It crouches and then vanishes, leaving some blue sparkles behind, and now it is attacking.
Uh-oh.
It leaps at the two of you from behind.
Damn it, I knew it.
A blink spider.
But both of you manage to out of the way just in time.
Oh, good.
It springs forward, landing among the piles of paralyzed Gramishka.
Okay, my turn.
Your turn.
Oh, great.
Its back is to you.
Its back is to.
You have advantage.
Okay, so I have two questions. One, is it possible, not that I'm going to use it, but is it possible for me to use my bite again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The only other question I have is, this isn't like the usual spiders, and it looked like it absorbed the magic. So I'm a little bit wary about whether or not if I bite it, it's going to absorb something from me.
You could always just...
No, I'm not magic, but I do have Vampire powers.
Don't worry about that.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump on its back and bite it at its weakest point.
Damn. Okay. All right, you are riding a spider and biting said ridden spider. Okay. That's yeah. Heal 5 points of damage, and you've used up your bite attacks for the day.
Oh, curses.
Normally 9.
Yeah, well, no. So it's 14? No, 15. 14?
No, you heal up to your maximum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So no, darn it.
Yes, this isn't like Pathfinder where you get to keep the overflow for an hour.
Well, poop.
Yeah.
Damn it,
So,
5e.
Every time I run 5e, I'm just going to stare at the camera every time I don't like the rules.
It is Aslan all along.
It was Aslan all along. So, okay, you are having a spider rodeo barbecue.
Doggy.
You know. So that takes us back to Iliana.
All right.
Do your worst, dear.
Yeah.
It is bucking angrily at its unwanted rider.
Okay. Well, I'll just throw another blast at it. It might be reduced damage, but it's still damage. So +5 again.
This is the third time. This might be a rigged die because this is the third time you've gotten a 10 on that roll. I'm aghast.
I'm just very powerful.
You are very powerful. You said that you were going to be very scary, and indeed you are.
You haven't seen the scary yet.
Oh, shit.
Well, not to spoil it, but this is the boss, so bust out whatever you like.
Oh, okay. As a bonus action, I will activate my special Warlock power of Form of the Dead. And so
yes.
What happens is I take on some of the characteristics of my patron. So I get a lot more gaunt and bony, and some magical energies swarm around me a bit. And I'm now terrifying. So I immediately gain a D10 plus 1 temporary hit points.
Oh, finally, it's lower. Gain 3 hit points.
Okay. And then once during each of my turns, when I hit a creature, I can force it to make a wisdom saving throw versus DC 13. And if it fails, it becomes frightened of me until the end of my next turn.
I'm just going to go ahead and let that count in the thing you just did. So,
okay.
Yeah, wisdom throw. No. It is terrified, turns around and gives a scared chitter, as far as you can translate chitters into emotions. And oh, okay.
Good way or oh no.
Okay, so it vanishes again with blue sparks, but this time there are like sparks that fly off, and 2 of its limbs are left behind as it teleports away. You fall to the ground amid a bunch of like pathetically mewling, paralyzed Gramishkas.
That's great.
It is on the wall. It is on the wall across the chamber. Your turn.
Okay, so I can't bite anymore, and that's a shame. But I wonder if I could use the same method I did to retrieve the corpse. And
Your bow.
use the bow and arrow and see if I can pull it down.
This thing's like the weight of a cow.
Sure. But okay, so it's on the wall right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So hold on just a second.
I just shoot it?
I'm just gonna shoot it. I'm not gonna have a rope attached to it. I'm just gonna shoot it with
yeah. Okay.
Is that a crit?
That's a crit.
Hey!
So, D6 times 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It rolled twice, I think.
And we add the dex. So, here's what's up. It teleports over to a nearby wall, gouting bluish, sparkling blood from its bite and its missing limbs.
The spider corn.
And you whip your bow out, draw, knock, fire, and
it's a dead one of these.
And it does this. You have killed the altered phase spider.
Oh, yeah. Good teamwork.
That was
good shot, sister.
That was a challenge.
It was your magic that we weakened it enough.
That was a challenge 3 encounter against a half-sized level 1 party, and you 2 handily dispatched it. I am good dice and good tactics, everybody.
Yay!
I'm impressed. All right.
Wow.
So here you can see that there is. Oh, that's action music. I'll turn to something a little more. There we go. Actual music from Haslan. Thanks, Spotify. Thank you, D&D Ravenloft music by No Mana.
Woohoo.
Wow.
So, yeah, right. So there is a mountain of Gramishka here, which are paralyzed. Many more are dead. You could easily fill your wagon and exterminate the rest. It would just be an errand. Do you wish to do so?
I believe we need to do so to prove that the task is done.
Should we do the same concept, sister? As far as like what we did with the spider eggs, we do to these?
Oh, I mean, we should kill the Gramishkan, of course.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like, take a few for ourselves and then figure out how we can exterminate all of them in one go.
Yeah, stomp on them. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, just simple as that. Stomp on them,
Yep.
make them dead,
Yeah. Ugh.
and we'll fill up backpacks and go up and down the side of the cliff
Yep.
a few times.
With live Gramishkas in our backs.
Yes.
I probably
At
should have
some
shown
point.
this before, but this is what a Gramishka looks like.
Oh wow.
Oh, that is a
Yeah.
gremlin cat.
Just the
Yes.
meanest little sumbitch you ever. And if they didn't eat magic, I'd be like, I want a swarm of those for my familiar.
On the way back to the city, I would like to brew a poison because they're
That's
useful
gonna
to
cost
have.
you on the move.
Oh,
You need to
like
set up camp for that.
Oh. Okay.
I for some reason I thought we had traveled far enough to need to set up camp.
It's not really that far. It's like a day's travel.
Oh, okay.
If you want to set up camp down here or up by the bridge or wherever, you're certainly welcome to. But I'm not quite done.
Okay.
As you go through the pile of Gramishka, you note that there is a rather sizable hoard of valuables buried among them.
Oh man. Okay.
This appears to have been their nest, and I guess they like shiny shit because you find grand total of coins about 500 in gold value.
Nice.
Wow.
And let's go ahead and roll randomly for once. Yeah. And 5 items of jewelry or finery, candelabra, an old book, stuff like that, totaling 125 gold in tradable value.
Nice.
Okay.
So
I'll just mark down the gold value.
that's fine.
Maybe we hand wave selling it. Okay.
That's fine. So yes, not a bad haul.
Not a bad haul at all. Criminy. Okay. Excellent. Good. Excellent.
Well, this was not quite what we expected to find here.
No.
So do you wish to camp and rest before heading back, or do you just want to push on through?
I think we should rest. I would get my spells back. Well, spell
One
and
of them.
and you could heal and get back your bite power.
There you go.
All right. So you put together a nice little campfire. There's plenty of shelter, so you don't have to worry too much about that. There isn't so much as a skitter, just the odd echo of a goblin with riddles in the dark. The most benevolent golem you ever met. Yeah. After you've had your rest, proceed back to Slyvar.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. You return the next day, just as the sun is setting. Ah, sweet comfort yet again. Stepping into the administrative office, the secretary looks up. You returned so soon. Did the task best you?
We've completed the task.
We have completed the task.
You'll have proof of this, I assume.
Oh, yes.
Yes. See to the wagon that is just outside.
Several several Rashmani servants emerge to pull his chair out for him and help him to his feet ever so daintily. With a sweep of his red robes, he proceeds outside, looks at the wagon. Are there spider parts in there?
Oh,
Indeed.
yes. We've ran into a couple of extra guests along the way.
There is web on them. Are you saying the spiders are the ones who kill them?
We killed the spiders.
We killed the spiders.
But not the Gramishka. The Gramishka were already taken care of.
We killed some Gramishka.
But we killed the rest.
This is... I assume there were valuables there.
No.
Do not lie to a red mage.
Nothing of value.
Alright, give me that deception. Because that's a lie.
It is a lie. 3.
His eyes narrow.
Nope.
Oh,
Sorry, technical issues. We're back. No, we're not. Hold on. Give me just a second.
hang on 1 second. Can you still hear us?
I think they can still hear us. There we are.
There we go. So, alright. It's frozen.
It is frozen. We apologize, guys. We've had technical issues with the Streamlabs. Please excuse me.
It's always something.
It is always something.
Okay. There we go. Alright. At least I'm moving.
You're moving, but no one else is, unfortunately.
Can everyone hear us?
I think they can hear us.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can keep talking anyway.
We'll keep talking. Apologize, guys. I'm afraid we're having a technical issue with the video.
Let us know if that changes. So, he seems about to have harsh words before a hooded figure in the doorway. No. Before a voice echoes over all of you. Show them in. My master bids thee welcome. Sweeps his cloak again, snaps for servants to take the wagon. Into the structure you go, and up winding stairs into a tower. At the top, rather elaborate arcane setup. A laboratory, a bedroom, a dining room, and seated at a long table, a hooded figure. Crimson yet again, bare-chested. You are the agents who have taken care of this little infestation for me, yes?
We are.
Yes.
And you did, in fact, find valuables there. I shan't punish you for it.
We did.
There were some valuables.
An agent of value at least deserves salvage rights, but prices were paid beyond that. And I appreciate agents who are capable of using a situation to their advantage. You used the spiders to kill the Gramishka, and then you cleaned up the spiders. This is elegant to me. I like it. There is pay for you, of course. He sets down a very small chest, gestures at it, and it opens, revealing silver.
Oh.
But perhaps we should speak instead. He gestures, and 3 goblets and a bottle of and a ewer of wine float over to the table. Perhaps we should speak of further employment. I appreciate your acumen, your adaptability, and your speed as well. Perhaps, and the ewer starts pouring wine, we can come to a further arrangement.
I, in character,
Perhaps.
look over to Iliana. What do you think, dear sister?
I think we might be able to work out something.
Perhaps.
Out of character, can I have that poison that I brewed given to Juliana beforehand? Someone who's better with their hands.
Absolutely. If you do just put crushed up leaf into something, it will make it poisonous. To make it an application poison, you'd have to refine it.
Oh, okay.
But it is still poisonous as is.
In the cup.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose can I use sleight of hand?
With that roll, you can.
So I can't. I'm so sorry, dear Erika. I can't see you. I'm assuming we're wanting to try to sneak some poison into his glass.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, I probably should have mentioned that
Oh
beforehand,
no,
but
I
yeah.
just did. I wanted to make sure because I was like, I think we want to kill this guy. So
Yes.
yes, sneak poison into his glass.
Perhaps some way of like moving up towards him and have some reason to be near his glass. Maybe showing him that coin that we found. That would be interesting.
I think that's.
It's easy enough when you... do you want to do that?
Yes,
You lean forward.
dear sir. I wonder, while we have you here, and taking advantage of all of your wisdom, we did find this strange coin that was given to us by a very strange character down there. Would you mind taking a look at it?
He takes the coin in his hand, turns it, looking at the shiny shit while you sprinkle a little bit of blackened poison leaf into his cup. I have seen this before. My master, Lord Haslick himself, speaks many languages which are not ones known to the land. This, I believe, I recognize some of the word. The silver city of worth quite a bit, perhaps, to my master. Perhaps I could buy it from you.
I think that might be something that we can agree to, dear sister. What do you think?
Yes, that is agreeable.
Wonderful. Let's toast to
Oh,
such a business arrangement.
My very thought. The beginning of a profitable relationship. Clink, drink. He coughs, and a yellow puff of pollen comes out of his mouth, and he collapses. May I recommend you act fast, sisters? Your mission demands you speed.
We should probably grab the chest. How big is the chest? Oh, okay. Grab the
yeah.
chest. I'll put it in my backpack. Dear sister, anything else you see around this room, grab it. Let's go.
Indeed. Up and on our way out. Brisk, but not running.
No.
Remember what you came for.
Oh, shoot. He has not an amulet, but there's something.
Around his neck, right?
Looking around his neck, you can see there's a pouch. Yank it off, open it up, and inside is a shard of what appears to be a
That's
crown.
it.
Pocket the crown piece.
Going through his room, you find that most of this appears to be for show. Many of the scrolls rolled up on the walls looking oh so impressive are simply empty vellum. Many of the vials have never even been used.
Wow.
This guy
What a
might be a
fake.
wizard poser.
I think, my dear sister, we might have been killed, perhaps, at Patsy.
Maybe.
Pull his head up. This is Magister Kirill. Thud.
Perhaps he's getting his just desserts, sister.
For all the deception, he's probably caused many poor people. In any case,
Indeed.
shall we make haste?
Yes. Let's away.
The secretary barely gives you a look as you leave. And out you go. You have a contact to meet who can guide you through the mist. Back to Darkon. Back to your master, Baron Metis. Back to the welcoming arms of the Kargatane in Martyria Bay, and the reward no doubt promised to loyal agents of the Vampire Lord. And that is where we will close.
Woo!
Woo.
So much fun.
Yay.
Fun was had.
Ravenloft.
Ravenloft. Okay. Thank you to everybody who was able to join today. We really, really loved having you on, and your interactions add this on along the way, which was exactly what we need usually here at 3SR. We always love to have our audience's involvement.
Love the feedback.
Thank you to Kevin and Erika for so speedily putting this together. Yes, we have shows coming up. We have Tuesday, we have Geriatrich, the meeting of the minds with all of the Geriatrich family coming in to meet of what minds they do have. And you will see me as Mavis joining in to direct the Edie and Birdie along the way. And thank you so much. I hope that everybody has a wonderful afternoon.
Stay safe out there. We're almost clear. Just a little bit further.
That's right. And also, just one last thing. If you did enjoy this and you do want to see more of Ravenloft, please let us know. You can message us or add comments to our event letting us know that you want to see more of this or more of the Secret Sisters. Until then, be safe. We love everybody and take care. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
It was Aslan.